If you want to make some fantasy picks on your favorite sports, check out Underdog Fantasy. It's all the rage, where you can choose higher or lower between 2 to 8 players, and you can win up to 325 times your entry. Use the code K100 at the Underdog Fantasy website, on the app, or at our personalized link, and you can receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash as well as a free pick. Underdog Fantasy offers a unique approach to fantasy sports, and it's a simple pick 'em style format. You can select players you believe will outperform expectations without the complexities of traditional daily fantasy sports. The user-friendly interface and growing community make it easy and fun to play, plus it's available in over 30 U.S. states. We will share our picks for you every week on K100 Sports. You can follow along or play against us. So use the code K100 at UnderdogFantasy.com on the app or at the link included in the show notes and receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick. UnderdogFantasy.com. It's an underdog thing. Okay, so then they did Takeshi and Kyle Fletcher against the Hounds of Hell. Take a while. Guess who won this? Kyle Fletcher Takeshi in 14 minutes and 15 seconds. Do this, Joe. Go to Meltzer.
Well,
said
Fletcher and Takeshi can't lose because they're going to wrestle in Australia.
Correct. And they should actually. I want to go to Meltzer said what, Joe, and today's conversation that he posted with Brian and Dave. This is entertaining again.
I'm still a big fan of that lapsed fan that you sent me yesterday.
Yeah, that was funny. This one's good too. This clip.
Yeah.
Joe, no, go to click on the actual. Okay, click that on. Okay, now click on the first one.
Then we had Takeshi and Fletcher versus the Hounds of Hell, and this was quite a great match. But I thought they had a few near falls too many, because at the end of the day, Takeshi and Fletcher are facing the two biggest baby faces on the roster at Grand Slam.
Yeah, but they didn't want to.
I know they never want to beat the Hounds of Hell, but you know what? Sometimes you got to beat people. We just were talking about that.
They did beat them.
I know, but like they're hitting all of their moves, and these guys keep kicking out of everything that they've got.
But they still lost.
And finally, we had a combo brainbuster.
I actually thought that they did the best.
I know you're going to put this over. I know you like this stuff. I don't like it. Sometimes it's time to get over a team and not the other team.
But this is not one of those times. This is the time where you have to get over both teams.
No.
The Hounds of Hell they're just getting started.
Then they should face somebody else and get over.
Well,
Takeshi and Fletcher are going to Australia in 2 weeks against Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, the dream team. Okay?
And they won.
Yes, after not being able to beat them with one near fall after another. And you could even hear the crowd. They had a spot at the end where there was like Takeshi rakes Buddy's eyes. Fletcher hits him with the draping DDT. They go for the cover. Brody kicks out, and you can hear the crowd like, okay, kicked out of that one. And then they do another one, and they do another one, and then finally they hit that combo Braden. And you can listen to the crowd. You can hear the crowd hit a peak, and then they kicked out of one too many near falls, and they lost the crowd.
I'll have to watch.
Go watch it again. I'm telling you.
Because I certainly did not see it that way.
Well, you can watch it again, and you will see.
And I mean, the thing also is, again, it's like this was they wanted to give those guys a win over somebody credible, but they didn't want to. Look, they won. That's all that matters at the end of the day. They got the win. In WWE, they would have done it the same way.
No, it would have been much more dominant.
No,
if Jey Uso is going for the title, he is not going to go there and go. That's the story, though, Dave. That's the story.
Yeah.
Go to the next one, Joe. You get the arrow.
Okay, what about Sami Zayn and CM Punk? Sami Zayn got all kinds of offense on CM Punk.
Are the Hounds of Hell going to beat Takeshi and Fletcher at All In? If they're not, it's not the same as Jay and Gunther.
Okay,
because that's the story that he can't beat the guy.
What is the story? Sami Zayn and Punk. Sami Zayn and Punk.
Yeah, okay. Punk beat him.
He did beat him
decisively, clean.
Right, clean. After how many near falls?
They did not kick out of this many.
Maybe not. They did all kinds of near falls in that match. They did all kinds of close calls. Yes.
But when that match was over, Punk was clearly the better man. Punk was the guy you were like, yeah, that guy should get the shot.
And Fletcher and Takeshi are heels, so they have to show more vulnerability. And at the end, they won.
I didn't like it.
Okay.
But you were welcome to.
I grew up on Stevens and Patterson.
I thought the match was great. I thought there were too many near falls there.
I grew up on Stevens and Patterson, and this is what they did.
That's fine in
I grew up on
1970s, but this is today. We got to make stars. We have to make stars. We have to make guys that are at another level than other guys. That's what we have to do. Otherwise, we're not going to have stars.
Guess what? Who's wrestling Okada?
Who is wrestling? Buddy? Yeah, but he's wrestling Okada.
So he has to be protected.
Okay, so put him in another match.
They decided to make an exciting match.
I know they did. That's my point. That was a mistake. If you want to protect two teams, have them each do different matches. We have 220 guys on the roster. Don't tell me there's not another team that Takeshi and Fletcher could beat that's a named team. Don't tell me there's not another team that Hounds of Hell could beat.
Okay,
or Buddy, because there is.
Okay, but guess what? They also did the spot with the fake Okada spot in the match. If you don't have Buddy...
Oh, that one even made me more angry. I wish you had to mention that. So they're doing this match, and they're like halfway through, and Buddy goes up top, and they hit Okada's music, okay? They hit his music in the middle of this match. So Buddy gets distracted, and he's looking to the back, like, where is cut off?
Yeah.
And then he gets the heat back again.
Yeah.
And they just kept going. And I was like, what did we do that spot for? What was the point? It didn't cost him the match. He got the heat right back afterwards.
To set up Okada and Buddy, because Okada wasn't
It didn't do anything.
It's to remind people Okada and Buddy are doing a match in 10 days.
We just saw an interview 5 minutes earlier.
So that's more to add to it.
If the music or Okada would have cost him the match, then fine, okay? That makes sense.
Well,
but like,
they
did music, and then it led to nothing. It was just something in the middle of the match that led to nothing.
It's part of the deal of Don Callis being really smart. Don Callis, came up with something to help his team. They didn't win the match with it, but it was a spot in there. It's part... Don Callis, is there anything wrong with making the evil manager, really
Dave,
smart?
If the music would have led to the baby faces getting the heat, or the heels getting the heat on them, then that's fine, okay?
Yeah,
but the music hit, the guy's distracted, and literally the spot was he gets cut off, and then he immediately slips out and gets back in control again. So it didn't even distract him.
He should have sold it longer. I do agree with that.
That's exactly correct.
I will agree with that.
He should have
sold it. He should have sold it.
Because otherwise it was a pointless distraction. Yeah, if you're going to distraction, the distraction has to lead to something. Not the guy just getting back in control again.
It led to...
Well, let me just say two things. I love when Brian and Dave go at it.
Right.
And on this particular issue, I'm with Brian.
100%. Dave, bro, it's like... The funny thing is like, Brian is trying to explain things that they do that lead to the fact that they're not doing good business. And it's like, I don't think Dave can watch this show like with the eye of a critical person that understands, okay, these things aren't being done correctly. But Brian sees the things that are being done incorrectly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if Dave thinks like, oh, it's fine. Bro, that's the problem. If Tony Khan is fine with Dave Meltzer thinking everything they're doing is fine, you sit at 604 right now and 605 last week. Next week might be 590 with no competition. And it's like,
that's low 600, bro.
That's
for a little while now. Yeah.
Bro, when NXT was doing these numbers, people thought they were doing terrible.
No.
NXT.
Yeah.
Like the people with no expectation for a show.
The worst part is, excuse me, NXT's beating them in the ratings.
No, killing them. Yeah. They're like 150, 200,000 more people.
It's a way better show.
Well, and you can tell because wrestling fans only had a finite number of hours each week to invest in the product. A lot of them decided, you know what? We're going to watch Tuesday night instead of Wednesday night.
Bro, unless you become mainstream, you're a niche product.
Right.
And that's what they are.
Well, all right. So from that, DI, just real quick, that argument from a fan perspective, I can't believe that Dave tried to argue the point that only a win matters, right, and not the manner of a win. If the manner of a win doesn't matter as far as who's stronger coming out of the match, then none of this means anything.
Right. I know. It's just a typical standalone match. We rated it with stars. It was a good match because they had a bunch of but that's not what we're trying to do here because we're trying to sell another match.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.